Okay, so good morning, everybody. How you all doing today? This morning, I just wanted to try and share some thoughts around crude oil pricing, and we already know that it affects petroleum products. That's a fact. What I want us to talk about, and please forgive me, this might take more than the normal 2 minutes. What I want us to ponder is a few things. As crude oil prices go up, we know that it directly affects distillates. That's a fact. But we also know that it doesn't directly affect the pumps everywhere at the same time. So my first conversation is what we call price ceilings and price floors. Or maybe before I go into price ceilings and price floors, I should talk about the fact that most often than not, crude oil is sold open market selling price plus premium. What this means is that it's a quote, but the forms of payment more often than not are deferred. So it means that I could have a crude oil contract where I'm paying for crude 30 days from when I lift it. So the first question is that, does the effect hit a super refinery immediately? My answer would be no. But then again, take the fact that the super refinery might look at it that, okay, it's a replacement cost issue. So I don't know what price I'm going to buy next. So let me apply it now. So that's one angle to it. What can the government do on that side? And I'm not a fan of subsidy, let's be clear. But I think we've reached a stage where between the benchmark pricing of crude oil as a country and the current pricing, we've noticed that there's over to $60 or $70 per barrel gain. So that goes into, I would say, excess crude accounts, which now means that federation accounts swell, states, local governments, and the center get more money. So this is a thought and a postulation. Why are we not subsidizing, but reducing the discounts, or shall I say reducing the premiums by increasing the discounts for the total of, let us assume 300,000 barrels a day, which will be for local refining, under the domestic crude supply obligation that existed. So bring it back. If we bring that back, then it means that the crude that goes to the refineries for local consumption of PMS, as the case may be, because most of these issues are PMS hinged. You reduce that differential so that the delta on what you earn is quote and unquote translated to the pump price, if you get what I mean. The second thing is this. Subsidy is gone. We haven't really seen what had happened to those subsidies gone. Things like CNG are not as they should be. It should be accentuated. There's no reason why public transportation now should not be mostly on CNG and mostly on maybe electric vehicles, as the case may be. You might ask, where is the power? But initiatives in solar are also going right. Finally, now let me go to why I wanted to talk about price ceiling and price floors. If you look at what happens in Ghana, if you look at what happens in Kenya, what happens in Southern Africa, and what also happens in parts of Cote d'Ivoire, the day the prices go up, it doesn't change at the pump. Because the regulators in those places have looked at all the indices, FX, gasoline prices, gas oil prices, and based on that, they set a price floor and say that you cannot sell beyond this price or lower than this price. In some cases, you cannot sell higher than this price, which is a price ceiling. What that means is that the products, as they continue to, as crude oil prices are affected by the war going on in Iran, it's not immediate on the pumps because they have an average window. So if they say it's a 14-day window, it means that the pumps are cushioned for 14 days. And then on the next 14 days, that summary of the averages is what hits the pump. The question is, why is the NMDBRA not pushing this at this particular time? That's a question they need to answer. And I mean, it guides the market and it allows for planning purposes. In Ghana, it's 14 days. In Kenya, it's 30 days. I believe in Cote d'Ivoire, it's 24 or 25 days, if my memory serves me right. But you see, it's time for us to continue to think. Look at the revenues. While we're earning on the what you call it, on the macro, we must be able to show some of that goes to the micro. And one quick way of doing that is by looking at the cost of crude, looking at the benchmark differentials, and saying, okay, open market selling price plus X. What is the discount in that X? And don't forget, you are already earning more than what we ever thought we would. So it doesn't mean we cannot take some of it and put it to productive use. Because other than that, after this, I'm not so sure we'd have a document to show this is what we've earned, this is what we've done. I think I've gone longer than I normally should have. So have a good day, people. Cheers.